This new moon in Capricorn is a powerful time to set intentions for over the next 6 months. What is it that you want to manifest between now and July 10th of 2025, having to do with taking authority in your life, taking a leadership role, overcoming obstacles, and maybe even leaving a legacy because you've seen the bigger picture of something. Now, doing this might come with a lot of challenges, especially that so if you are an American, because this new moon is opposing the United States natal sun. So we're having a massive reset, and this is a very financial reset, if I may say so. So when I talk about the next 6 months of this cycle, buckle up, because right now we could be assessing values. We could be facing sober realities, trying to have realistic expectations for how we go after our goals and ambitions with a grounded, down-to-earth approach. There's going to be some shakeups along the way, so watch out for that. In terms of relationships, this holiday season might have had us looking at generational issues, and that's definitely relevant with Capricorn. It might have to do with shared resources within a family dynamic, or simply shared values, mutual effort, shared sacrifice. And if this isn't within a family system, you could be looking outside towards, maybe colleagues or careers. But overall, in terms of our relationships, our most personal relationships, not necessarily the public ones, although that may be relevant, we could be doing a bit of assessing relationship obligations, responsibilities. We as a country in America, we've gotten away from a lot of these traditional ideas about duty and obligation to our loved ones. But then, as we get older, we have an aging population and so much disconnection within family units, and not having a solid foundation within families to fall back upon when jobs and governments fail. We could be looking at getting beyond the appearances of a solid foundation, legacy, versus the substance of it. And the truth of that, the reality of that could be a sober pill to swallow, but then at the same time, it kind of informs us on the work that we have ahead of us over the next 6 months if we want to turn things around, overcome some challenges in our relationships. There could be tension right now in relationships, with people not feeling valued, people feeling used, people really looking at how people are cooperating or not cooperating with one another in terms of resources in this very tangible life that we live. Beyond just the ideas and the thoughts and the words, but the really nuts and bolts of this reality. Are we cooperating? Are we sharing effort and sacrifice? And the answers to those questions may be a bit difficult. Maybe we realize we need to come up with a new strategy. If we're not able to get cooperation in our relationships in the most tangible sense, then perhaps we need to align ourselves better with people who can and will. This is a time of strategic commitments being made, and maybe that begins with you reassessing what you've been putting your work and effort into. What have you been investing in? What have you been sacrificing for? And if it's not giving you a return on investment, what is? It might not be what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Maybe you need to work harder. Maybe you need to be more prudent, more disciplined, more resourceful. But it might also be about alignment of values, and even when people have differences of values, being able to come into agreement about making an exchange that each party feels is a winning, beneficial, symbiotic exchange. When it comes to resources, finding proper alignment, really making sure that you're climbing the right mountains in life are going to be very important, because I'm going to tell you, especially for the Americans, this new moon is happening in America's first house. And it is opposing our natal sun and having to do with our identity, our vitality. And so there's a lot of pressure coming at a time when we as a nation are also in a Pluto return in our second house, having to do with resources. And potentially over the next 6 months in a global reset. And I'll talk more about that in other videos. If you want to hear more about it, make sure that you are following me, because I'm going to be putting out some predictions for 2025. But suffice it to say, in a nutshell, we are looking at, over this next 6-month time frame, for particularly Americans, a major spotlight being put on the financial welfare of this nation and its people. A lot of changes going on. It's going to be intense. Definitely watch out for January 17th through the 21st. That's when the sun is going to be right on this Pluto return. Whatever is going on during that time frame is setting the tone for these next 6 months and what follows. So pay attention to the changes going on and be real with yourself about what you need to do strategically and positioning wise with your finances to weather the storm, the upheaval that is coming over the next 6 months. My advice with this energy is start setting some goals for the new year, but be about grounded manifestation. Really be with the reality of what's going on, because this is not necessarily about the world as we want it, but as it is. And then how do we get it to where we want to go? And unfortunately, some of us this year are going to realize painfully that we've been climbing the wrong mountain. And so take the time to really soberly assess, are you climbing the right mountain? Are you in the right career? Do you have the rightly aligned within yourself goals, aspirations, ambitions? Because whatever it is that you're trying to overcome, whatever mountain you're trying to climb and reach the top of, it needs to be rightly aligned with you, and it needs to be connected with your life purpose, destiny, your mission in this life. And I'm not saying that even if you do that, it's going to be an easy climb. But what I am saying that is, if you do that, it will be worth the effort. Because at the end of the day, we all need to climb a mountain we're supposed to be on, right? We don't want to get to the top of a mountain after going through all kinds of upheaval and obstacles and challenges, only to find out it was all for naught. So take this time to set the intentions wisely about what mountains you need to be climbing in the next 6 months and why, so that it's worth your while. Be blessed.